last speaker of the night.
Like most of us, I come from a strong background of talented, authentic, reliable, and efficient gossipers. Whether it be through the phone, to a random stranger on the plane, or over a cup of tea, my family can spread the latest news faster than Elon Musk can fire government employees via Twitter. Yeah, okay, maybe I should have said that. I meant via X. Unfortunately, from the very first moment in elementary school, we are taught that gossip as a whole is wrong, and we're often punished for talking about others. But the origin of gossiping wasn't actually centered around hurting other people. It was quite the contrary. Alongside numerous evolutionary psychologists, Robin Dunbar from the University of Liverpool argues that the exchange of social information, gossip, has been crucial in our ability to evolve into a large social species. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all gossip is good. When used with malicious intent, gossip has proven to be extremely dangerous. But the distinction we must make between moral and malicious gossip is not the information itself, but rather what we choose to do with it. So today, let's first eavesdrop on the history of our favorite community building activity. Next, we'll spill the tea on how we tool started by winning this turn against them. Before finally spreading some rumors, solutions about how by embracing the truth in gossip, we can use it as an avenue to fight injustice and repel these anti-gossip rumors once and for all. Now, you didn't hear this from me, but I heard that gossip is defined as casual and unrestrained conversations or reports about others. There are two types of gossip, moral and malicious. Moral gossip is information that is spread with the intent of warning, protecting, and educating. Malicious gossip is information that is spread with the intent of harming, humiliating, and manipulating. According to the International Public Policy Review, the word gossip actually started off as God-sid in Old English. It meant godparent and referred to women who were present during childhood, the sole purpose of keeping the new mother company. Over time, these private conversations began to instill deep senses of bonding, giving women an unfamiliar form of power in their communities. she would bring up her concerns of sexual harassment to human resources would be because of malicious gossip. It is because of assumptions like this that whisper networks, private channels of discussion allowing people to spread awareness on harmful situations came to be. In 2006, the Me Too movement was started as a whisper network, allowing sexual assault survivors to share their stories freely and warn others about predators still roaming free. What Me Too accomplished is exactly why dictators and HRFs alike detest gossip. According to author and professor Anthony Allen from the University of Yonsei in South Korea, this kind of being gossiped about is bound largely to the restraining force of shame. And hence, while gossip may lead to violence, ostracism, and exclusion, it can also serve to protect the many from the abuses of the few. Because people are afraid of their lies and crimes coming to the surface. This fear is what motivated the Nazi regime to launch anti-whisper campaigns, warning Germans against pessimistic gossip by putting up posters with phrases like, "The enemy is listening," using fear-mongering to silence dissent. And this fear is also what motivated Soviet Russia to declare counter-revolutionary agitation and propaganda, also known as gossip, to be a punishable crime. Anti-gossip rhetoric has been the oldest trick in a dictator's handbook. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of keeping these rumors in the dark. Now that we've addressed why society shuts down gossip, let's talk about why we gossip. Why I gossip. Aside from my parents and brothers, I live 8,000 miles away from the rest of my family. Meaning I don't get to spend my birthday with them, spend the holidays with them, or even get a hug after a long day at school. The best I get is a shaky WhatsApp video call. And while these calls connect us visually, it is through gossip that my grandmother and I are allowed to connect emotionally. Whether it's through me telling her about my best friend who finally got the boy she's been crushing on for months, or her telling me about some milkman who randomly increased his prices. It is through retellings of these fragments of our lives that we are allowed to paint a picture of each other's realities. And while we often talk about other people, the bond that is formed is between us. Today, we've explored what gossip was, what it is, and why we do it. So now I propose a solution to dismantle what I like to call our gossip bad mentalities. To simply embrace it and learn to distinguish between moral and malicious gossip. Moral gossip would be the start of the Gulabi gang, an all-woman gang dedicated to fighting domestic violence in their communities. A gang that grew through gossip is now a beacon of hope and light as they fight systemic oppression and violence by using their voices. Malicious gossip would be President Trump renaming the coronavirus the Chinese virus, significantly increasing hate crimes committed against people of East Asian heritage. By embracing the truth and gossip, we can bring it back to what it once was, a means to protect and connect with each other. So, the next time you hear something on the grapevine, ask yourself, is this moral or malicious? Would this information hurt or help someone if I were to pass it along? If the answer is hurt, keep that to yourself. If the answer is help, then as Bishop Mary Ann Edgar Booth stated in the 2025 National Prayer Service, it is incumbent upon us to speak with truth, even when, especially when, it costs us. We fear the cost of moral gossip. We essentially fear the consequence of demanding justice. So, shove this fear aside. Stand firmly alongside the truth. And let's do what we